what's up guys? Eli here, back for a new stuff video. It's going to be kind of a combination of movies, DVDs that I've been buying, over the last couple weeks, and also, as I mentioned before, obviously October being my favorite month of the year, having reasons and, excuses to buy, Halloween themed shit in pretty much every single store. It's always something that I look forward to. I always buy a bunch of stuff that I clearly don't need, but I enjoy the shit out of it. So, as I mentioned, I'd be showing some of that stuff. I actually haven't picked up too much. Some little knick-knacky things I've picked up, t-shirts, and also some cool artwork that I bought that I want to kind of talk about for a minute. So, anyways, we'll get started with the movies. Let's go. So we're going to start off with a couple of movies that are actually not horror at all, which I don't collect a ton of non-horror, but let's face it, there are some great movies, to say the least, that are not horror. In fact, yeah, there are many great movies I have, but aside from horror, I also enjoy kind of like crime-type movies. I like mobster movies, mafia, stuff like that. So this series, I've always heard really good things, and I figured, what better way to dive in than just to buy this kind of, I guess you could call it a box set. It's the Pusher Trilogy. So Pusher 1, 2, and 3. These are Danish movies, kind of, from what I've gathered, most known for the second one having Mads Mikkelsen in it. I don't know if this was before he got kind of, internationally famous or not. I'm not really sure. I know the guy from being in, he portrayed Hannibal Lecter in the... I think, what's that show called? Is it just called Hannibal? I think it's called Hannibal. Anyways, the series. I thought he was a great Hannibal Lecter, don't get me wrong. One of my favorite movies of all time, Silence of the Lambs. I loved his portrayal of the character. I just thought the show was lacking in spots. I thought it was, at times, sure, it was nice and dark, and it had, it had the essence of Silence of the Lambs. It was in there, but what I thought kind of muddled it was the fucking... the CSI-esque, like, crime lab type stuff, the hokey, jokey, we're quirky, silly, forensic scientists. I thought that was just, for me, almost entirely ruined the show. I just could not get into it strictly because of that. There was some nice, shocking gore and violence and stuff like that had, like I said, had the essence of the earlier, Silence of the Lambs movies, Manhunt and Red Dragon and all that. But, some of those characters completely ruined the show for me. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. I haven't watched any of the Pusher Trilogy movies yet. But, so we got Pusher, the original from 1996. We got Pusher 2 from 2004 and Pusher 3 from 2005. I don't know why 2 and 3 were made so closely together. That always kind of makes me a little nervous, but whatever. I think Mads Mikkelsen is only in the second one. I could be wrong. I don't know a whole lot about these. I don't know what ties them together. Does it have, some of the same core characters? Is it, a continuing storyline? I don't know. Can't wait to watch these. What do you guys think? Have you seen any of the Pusher movies? Let me know. And continuing with the, crime movies, we got Brawl in Cell Block 99. I've been wanting to pick this up for a while. You might know it from having a different... This is the original cover. Of course, I went with, this kind of 70s Grindhouse-esque cover that's way, way, way better. So this came out in 2017. What drew me to this was, of course, writer and director S. Craig Zahler. I think he's absolutely amazing. He used to be a writer for Metal Maniacs back in the 90s, early 2000s. I don't know what his timeline. But lately he has been, he's gotten into the movie world where he's a writer. He started actually writing books. I guess he's got a bunch of books. Haven't read any of those, but I'd really love to. I've been following his film career, though, and I have almost everything he's ever done, at least the stuff that's easy to find. And it's all been really, really good. I can definitely say that I'm a fan. This is the most recent thing I've seen that he's worked on, and I thought this was absolutely fantastic. You got a cast of characters, a bunch of really good actors in this. Vince Vaughn, Jennifer Carpenter, who he's been kind of using for some of his movies. I like directors that have like a reoccurring cast of actors that they work with. I love that. So yeah, it's got Don Johnson, who I've been a fan of since childhood. Vince Vaughn basically plays. They say ex-boxer, but that's not really talked about in the movie. It doesn't. The back of this is a former boxer. That's like the first couple of words. In the movie, they don't really talk about him having a boxing career or anything like that. So, anyways, take that with a grain of salt. But he works as an auto mechanic. He used to be a drug courier. I think he got in trouble. I want to say I think he did. Yeah, I think he went to jail and kind of served his time and said he would never do it again. But shows up to work one day at the shop he works at. He's been laid off, needs a job, so he goes back to his crime career, intending just to make a bunch of money and then quit, retire from that world for once and for all, start a family with his wife. He ends up getting into some trouble, and I'll just stop there because I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. This is a very intense, violent, over-the-top movie. I definitely highly recommend it if you're a fan of action movies, if you're a fan of just like crime thrillers. If you're a fan of both together, that's kind of where the sweet spot is with this movie. But I highly recommend it. Very, very enjoyable. Vince Vaughn, to be honest, I don't really know what opinion I had of him before. I guess I kind of always just didn't mind him, but he's actually a pretty good actor. He portrays kind of like a tough guy, but with a moral code and, dare I say, a heart of gold. He's a good guy, but he's a completely convincing. You kind of, as you're watching this, you forget that it's Vince Vaughn, and you're just kind of enveloped in this character that he's portraying, which is what a great actor, should be doing. Then from 2002, we got the Salton Sea. I used to own this years ago, lost it, I guess, because I don't have it anymore. For years now, I've been wanting to pick it up again and rewatch it. Well, I haven't rewatched it yet, but I did pick it up clearly. You got Vincent D'Onofrio, Val Kilmer, Peter Sarsgaard in this. I just remember it being a very atmospheric kind of crime movie. I haven't seen it in so long, I don't really remember that much. My memory kind of sucks, but I remember Val Kilmer being absolutely great. And I think Val is a great actor when he wants to be, and I want to rewatch this to just kind of re-experience his performance and see if my memory is correct. On the back of this, at the top, it says it's a film noir. So do with that what you will. I'm really excited to rewatch this. And you guys seen the Salton Sea? And what do you think? Now we're kind of segueing into horror. I guess you could call this. You might as well call this horror. It's not really a movie that fits in any one genre, I wouldn't say. This is a newer movie from 2022. I'm a big David Cronenberg fan, so I have his newest film, Crimes of the Future. And yes, I actually did watch it. I didn't really like this. I would not go as far as to say I disliked it. I certainly didn't hate it. I did feel incredibly let down. Like I said, I'm a big Cronenberg fan, and I just didn't. I didn't get any of the classic Cronenberg vibes from this. I know it's not 1986 anymore, but I am a fan of his later shit. Dude, I really like A History of Violence. I really fucking liked Eastern Promises, which also had Viggo Mortensen. So he's returning, and this is the third movie I think that Viggo's done with David Cronenberg, and I just. I'm just disappointed all around. I like Viggo Mortensen. I loved him in Eastern Promises. I feel like his performance here was just boring. He pretty much just whispers the whole time. He has this raspy whisper. Why the fuck is he whispering all that? I don't get it. Maybe that's just the character he was playing. That's how he talks. But I just felt like it was dull, dare I say, uninspired. Kristen Stewart was fine. Lea Seydoux was pretty good. Honestly, I almost think Viggo Mortensen was kind of the weak link. I mean, you even have other actors like you got Scott Speedman, even who was pretty good. I think he's actually a bit of an underrated actor. I thought he was good in this, but I don't know, man. The concept really had me interested. It's basically set in definitely set in the future. I don't remember it saying what year it was, but it's a bleak, semi-dystopian future. It's not like Mad Max or anything where the world is just wrecked, but let's just say things look worse. Buildings look kind of, not very maintained. Even the people don't look too great. Their clothes aren't super nice. Their teeth aren't looking, dental care is definitely taking a dive. and you still have power, you still have electricity, running water, and stuff like that, but you just don't. Let's just say, in David Cronenberg's vision of the future for this movie, humanity's not, we're not improving. We're actually we're slowly going downhill in our advancements. There's a weird concept of like, humanity evolving. There's this like specific group of people who have evolved to be able to eat plastic. In fact, not only eat plastic but live off of it. That's like food to them. Uh, or Viggo Mortensen's character, he's evolving in a weird way to where his body actually produces extra organs. And also, I should probably mention, this is very important to the storyline. Humans don't really feel physical pain anymore. Maybe a little bit at best, but our tolerance to physical pain has just skyrocketed. So I mean, you can do. People are getting surgeries performed on them while they're still awake, and it just kind of that hurts a little bit. It's kind of uncomfortable, but it's doable. So as performance art, people are like mutilating themselves, and in his case with his partner, they will do surgeries and remove his extra organs. I don't know, weird concept, interesting concept. It doesn't all tie together very well. I think this is kind of a failure. One thing I didn't know about it appears to be a remake of a 1970 film that Cronenberg did. Not a short, but a shorter film. It looks like it's only just over an hour long, which is, obviously short for a feature-length film. Never heard of it. I've never seen a copy of it, but I'd love to track it down. I've read the synopsis of it. It looks like it's even a different storyline. Maybe set around the same time, but it looks like a pretty different storyline. I'd really love to track that down and check it out. But if you're a Cronenberg completionist like I am, I don't know, if you pick this up for a couple bucks or something, maybe grab it. I can't say going and spending $20+ on a Blu-ray copy or something. I can't really say that that's justified. But who knows? You might like it more than me. In fact, if anyone's seen this, I'd really love to hear your thoughts. I'm totally open to watching it again, and since I own it, I will watch it again at some point, but I don't feel enthusiastic to do so. We'll see. I'm probably going to shelve it for a good couple of years, to be honest. And a lot of the time, I can do that with movies and music. I can shelve it for a couple of years and come back to it once my expectations have just been depleted, and I can watch it with a new open mind. And a lot of the time, I'll appreciate it more that way. So. Who knows? In a couple of years, when I rewatch this, I might like it a lot more. I might like it less, though. It's hard to say. As it sits right now, I wouldn't score it more than I'd maybe give it a 5 out of 10, but that'd probably be the best I can do. All right, now we're pretty much in the full-blown horror, which is where my interests are nowadays, for the most part. I picked up Pet Sematary 2 from 1992. I've seen the original a long time ago. I actually need to rewatch that. I'll probably pick that up as well. But I never really was interested in watching this, but lately I've been seeing like reviews and stuff for it on YouTube, and I've seen people kind of champion it as a movie they actually really enjoy, even going as far as to say that they find it highly underrated. So that got me interested. I picked it up for a couple of bucks. I've heard it's very, very 90s. I mean, it was 1992. Why wouldn't it be very, very 90s? But I've heard it's also, it's got a lot of really good gore and graphic violence. And I'm definitely a Stephen King fan. I wouldn't say I'm a massive fan of the first movie. I do like it. Like I said, I do need to rewatch it, and I actually am probably going to pick up a copy soon. But anyways, Pet Sematary 2, what do you guys think? I'll probably be watching this pretty soon here. So every year, I don't know if you guys shop at Walmart. I don't proudly shop there, but I shop there. There's one like a mile from me, so it's kind of unavoidable at times. They get these cool, I think they're glow in the dark if I remember correctly, but these cool covers. They're really, really well done. They're what do you call it? It's textured. I picked up the first Critters movie not really that long ago. I think like a year ago, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I figured, why not get this four film collection? I think it was $5 or $6. To be fair, I have heard only the first one's good. There are fans of the second one, but I've heard Beyond Part 2, they are garbage. But I'm gonna watch them all just because I can. So you got Critters 1 from 1986, famous for having the Kyoto brothers. They didn't direct it, but they did the character design, and they did direct one of my favorite horror movies, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. They did all the design in that, and they directed it. Right? Didn't they direct it? Now I'm doubting myself. But they are, visual, total visual guys. So as soon as I learned that they did the character design for Critters, I'm like, okay, I gotta check that out. And I really, really enjoyed the first one. It's honestly, it's just a fun movie. It's not super scary. But it wasn't really supposed to be. But I think it's a lot more clever than most people maybe would realize if they've never seen it. It's just, I don't know. It's a great horror movie. I think if you've avoided Critters, you definitely should rectify that. Really fun movie. If you're a fan of Gremlins, there's no reason why you wouldn't enjoy Critters. Critters 2 from 1988, 3 from 91, and 4 from 92. Apparently, Leonardo DiCaprio, his very first movie that he ever did was Critters 3. So, whatever. Yeah, I'm stoked to watch the rest of these, but I don't really have. I wouldn't say I have high hopes by any means, but it could be fun. Then from 2019, we got the Swamp Thing Complete Series. I think it's kind of funny that it says Complete Series because it was only one season. It was canceled after that, even though it was really, really well received. Very cool cover, by the way. So detailed for what it is. That's what the typical cover looks like if you pick this up anywhere else but Walmart. So I'm a big comic fan. I haven't read a lot of the Swamp Thing stuff, but it is really, really good. Check out some of the old Swamp Thing comics from like the mid-late 80s. Excellent artwork, excellent writing. God, I'm drawing blanks right now on. I think Bernie Wrightson drew the Swamp Thing character at times. I don't think he was one of the creators. I think Len Wein was one of the creators, and what's his name? The guy that he's a great writer. He's done a lot of cool comic books. He's also written novels. He's also written some movies. And I've only, I think I'm 3 or 4 episodes in. It came pretty highly recommended by some people that I know. As soon as I learned that it was pretty much a horror-based show, I was interested. It's cool so far. I don't know if I would say that I'm like super entranced in the storyline, but I'm gonna keep going, and I am enjoying it. You got some good performances here. You got Derek Mears, plays the creature. Really, really like Derek Mears. He played. I've talked about him here before. He played Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th remake from 2009. I thought he was a really, really good Jason. He's done a few other things. I can't remember what, but great choice for Swamp Thing. He's really doing a good job at bringing this character to life, and definitely check it out if you like comic books and you like horror. You definitely shouldn't overlook it. Got a couple more. I used to actually own this on Blu-ray. I don't know what happened to it because I don't appear to own it anymore. But we got from 1980, Motel Hell. It's funny. I always think of this movie as more of a 70s movie. I mean, 1980 pretty much. There's no real distinction from 1980 and say 1978, 79. But to me, this is always like a 76, 77 movie. I don't know. That's how I feel when I watch it. But it's 1980. At least that's when it came out. Who knows? Maybe they were filming it in the 70s. I don't know a whole lot about its history, but this is a absolute classic horror movie. It's got that that grindhouse kind of feel if you're a fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and movies like that, kind of exploitation type stuff. This is just a blast and an absolute classic in the genre. I'd say it's mandatory. I've been working on getting all the Scream movies, so I got Scream 4 with this cool new slipcase. I don't know if that's a Walmart exclusive as well, because I bought it there. Underneath, I don't even think this is the original cover because I've seen it. I've seen a cover other than that. That might be the repressing cover. Still cool. I think I like that about as much as the one that I remember seeing from 2011 when this came out. I haven't seen this. I liked the first Scream when it came out. I kind of just forgot about it. Avoided all the others pretty much until recently and decided to, like, okay, I need to reinvestigate the Scream movies, and I'm really having a blast. I absolutely love Ghostface as a character. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the character just alone. So I'm stoked to watch this. All I need now is the newest one. I think they just call it Scream because that's what they do now. They make a sequel years later and just give it the same name as the original. I don't get it, but I need that. I heard it's actually pretty good from a few years back. So what do you guys think about Scream 4 or just the series in general? That's all I have for movies now. I have some other cool stuff to show, like this Candyman 2 Farewell to the Flesh action figure slash doll, whatever you want to call it. It is done in that old style action figure, from the early days of action figures where they were, not like the modern, where they were. I don't want to compare them to Barbies, but you know what I mean. I love Candyman as a character. I'm only really recently kind of getting into the movies. I've always just loved him as a character, and I'm really getting into the first movie. I'm starting to watch some of the other ones. I picked up the remake not too long ago. I haven't watched it yet, but I love Tony Todd. I think his portrayal as the Candyman is just an absolute classic character. I think I'd say he's a little underrated in the world of slasher movies. I think he's absolutely underrated. I think he deserves more credit than he ever got. So thought that was pretty cool. Picked it up really cheap, actually. Got this Hannibal Lecter pop. I know I've talked about pops, how I wouldn't say I'm a collector of them necessarily. I do like them, but there's way too many of them. I think, I don't know, collecting them would just be a pain in the ass. But Silence of the Lambs is one of my all-time favorite movies. Hannibal Lecter, one of my all-time favorite characters. As you can see, he's got a knife in one hand and he's got a fork in the other, and it's pretty fucking cool. They did a good job, as they pretty much always do. So yeah, I had to have it. If anyone cares to see this, I figured why not? I'll show it. I haven't taken it out of the box yet, but I got this Universal Studios Monsters drinking glass. That's just badass. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of these movies. I appreciate them. I did not grow up with them. I hope to someday get more into them than I am. But I love the characters. I mean, and this is just a cool glass. I had to get it. Got a couple of T-shirts, including this one that I've actually wanted for years. One of my all-time favorite movies, American Psycho. Mandatory. I just bought it a couple weeks ago. I've already worn it like 30 times. And I'm also a big Halloween fan, big Michael Myers guy. I got this Halloween 2 shirt. Pretty cool. I think this is like my third or fourth Halloween shirt that I own, but I did not have a Halloween 2 shirt, so I mean, come on, guys. All right, now we're going to get into something that I picked up recently, something that I've never really shown in this channel, but I'm excited to talk about this. This is from an artist that I first heard about a couple of years ago and kind of just forgot about. I don't know what made me remember, but I did, and I was like, fuck, I need to order some stuff from this person, and I ordered. This artist doesn't have a lot of stuff to buy right now, but I think they're going to restock their store hopefully soon. So I'm talking about mysticat. Mysticat, mysticat. So I'm going to say they because I don't know the gender of this artist. I've messaged them a couple of times actually on Instagram. asking if maybe they wanted to do like an interview or come on my channel or something, and they said that they prefer to keep their identity kind of, dare I say, more mystical, secret. Said they would do an interview in print, which was very nice, but that's not really my thing. So I said, maybe I'll think about it. And they said, if I ever change my mind, I'll let you know. And I was like, hell yeah. So they do these. There's tons of artwork in this vein, basically, combining like old style occult artwork with cats. Two of my favorite things in the world, and I couldn't be happier about this print. God, I think this was maybe $10. I think maybe even less than $10. So really happy to have that. They've made a lot of them over the years, but this is the only one that's for sale right now. As soon as more get reprinted, I'm gonna snatch them up. And I also got this really sick patch. Officially my favorite patch in the world, I think. And I also got this pin. The reoccurring characters in the artwork are a black cat and a white cat. They're both fucking cool because I love cats, obviously. And I figured while I was at it, I pulled out some of my own artwork. Well, not artwork that I've done, but just some things that I've collected over the years that I've never really. I don't show artwork on this channel typically. I don't collect a ton of artwork either, but when the time is right, I do love it, and I definitely appreciate it. Like I said, I'm a big comic fan, mainly for the artwork, to be honest. This doesn't have a whole lot to do with anything that I've just talked about, but I was given this Rob Zombie Munsters poster. I think it's a cool poster. I do like Rob Zombie's movies. I hate his music, but I like his movies, and I am excited to watch this movie. I watched the Munsters a bit when I was a kid. I wouldn't say a ton, but I did like it. It's been probably 30 plus years since I've watched any Munsters stuff, but they've always been, I've always been fond of the characters. And so this is the thing about that movie. A lot of people right now are bashing on it, but I've read some reviews and watched some reviews here on YouTube. The reviewers that I more trust have said that the hate on this movie is just completely overdone. People tend to jump on hype trains, whether it's bashing on something or praising it, and I think that's what's going on right now. A lot of people are bashing the movie. I think it was because the trailer was so bad. People are automatically not really giving the movie a shot, and I think that's really unfair. From what I've gathered, it is a pretty decent movie. It's a fun movie. It's not anything more than it's supposed to be, and yeah, I'm gonna watch it. So I pulled out some artwork that I've collected over the years, like God, I think around the time my son was born, like around 14 years ago, I met an artist, comic book artist named Angel Medina. He's worked on Spawn, he's worked on Spider-Man. He's hugely talented. His style's kind of similar to Todd McFarlane, I would say. I bought this Batman print from him. To be honest, I can't remember if this is a print or if this is an original. I actually think this might be an original. But it's really cool Batman drawing that he did, and then he signed it, of course. I'm a big Batman fan, and that was just a cool. It's not your typical Batman image, and I just thought that was really cool. An ex-girlfriend of mine, not to make it sound like I've had a ton of girlfriends, but I've had a few. I get around. I'd say back around maybe 12 years ago or so, she drew this for me. She's a very talented artist. This is an '09. Okay, so yeah, longer than that. She's a very talented artist, though she's not professional. I mean, she's just someone who's really good at shit and just does it for fun. I think she should do it as a profession, but so she drew this zombie for me. Just drew it with Sharpie. I think she maybe put an hour into this, and that kind of gives you an idea of how talented she is. So talented that we don't even speak anymore, and I've kept this drawing this whole time because I absolutely love it. I will always keep this picture. Some years back, maybe around '09 or 2010, maybe something like that, I went to the Emerald City Comic Con in Seattle, Washington, and I picked up this print. This really sick Wolverine print. This was inked by a guy named Dexter Vines, who signed it here for me. He didn't do the pencils. He did the inking here. I don't remember who did the pencil work, to be honest. Either way, I'm a big Wolverine fan, especially of his more gritty storylines. Check out Old Man Logan if you haven't, and check out the early Weapon X stuff. Some of the Wolverine storylines from the '90s are fantastic, and I just think this is really, really fucking cool. And last but not least, I got this at that same Comic Con. If you've ever wanted to see what I look like as Wolverine, but drawn by one of those, what do you call them, caricature artists, this dude probably drew this in less than 2 minutes. Yeah, Wolverine Eli, as you can see right there. He came up with that, by the way, not me. I don't think I even asked him to do this ever, if I remember correctly. I think I was just talking to him, if I remember correctly, and we were just kind of chatting, and he was drawing this while he was talking to me, and I was like, I don't know if that's how these people operate. But I was like, yeah, that's awesome, I'll buy it. I had another thing that he drew too. I don't know. He drew me as Two-Face also, with my girlfriend at the time, and she was Poison Ivy. I'll have to find that. I know I have it somewhere, but there you go. If you've ever wondered what Wolverine Eli looks like, that is what he looks like. So. Anyways, guys, that was fun. Let me know what you think about the artwork. Let me know if you've seen any of these movies, and let's get some chat going on. I appreciate you guys for watching this video, if you've made it to the end especially. And as always, Louis says hello. He's a lazy bastard taking a nap. I'm kind of jealous because I fucking need one really bad. But anyways, guys, cheers, and let's talk soon.